Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm late. I know that I'm late. You hopefully knew that I was going to be late because I'm always late on these nights. This is a Memorial Day weekend, and we go camping on Memorial Day weekend. The whole family, we go out, we spend the entire weekend just hanging out, having a few drinks, smoking a bunch of cigars, eating a bunch of food. It's a blast. We've talked about it extensively every single year, and it always culminates in a Monday where I think we're going to get home in plenty of time to make this show happen, the time it's supposed to, and then well, it never does. It's always late. Although, honestly, it's not that much later than we are on a normal night sometimes, so I'm not going to feel too horrible about it. Also, why is the camera so wide? Let's fix that. Oh, that's a little bit better. All right, we'll get this thing figured out one of these days. I cracked the code. That's the show title tonight, and we're gonna talk about that. That's probably the primary topic that I'm gonna talk about, and then we'll have a couple drinks. But before we do anything, we need to have something that we like to call the rumination. This is the current iteration of the schnappening. For a while on this show, we would kick things off by drinking some schnapps together, and I quickly ran out of schnapps behind the bar here in the studio. It's not even in the studio; it's in the other room. That's fine. I quickly ran out of schnapps and was repeating bottles, and that seemed kind of boring to me. It just so happened that coincided with the transition into warmer weather. And typically, as seasons change, so do my drinking habits. And for this spring and summer, I've been extensively researching rum, and so that's where this rumination comes from. Is that every week I'm trying something new, hopefully, until I get bored of trying new. I won't get bored of trying them until I stop trying new rums, and then we'll probably drink some cocktails and try some different ways to make different rum cocktails. I'm fascinated by this whole thing. I have never really dove that deep into it. I've had many a rum cocktail. I've drank many a rum, but I've never actually sat down that I can think of and made 4 mojitos with different kinds of rum, or made 4 daiquiris with different kinds of rum, and sat there and back to back tried them all and figured out what type of rum I like in different things. So I'm kind of curious to go into some of that too, and we'll do that as the weather warms up. So stay tuned for that. Marco says, "Donde está Dippa Josh?" Dippa Josh is there. He is commenting. Hopefully you see that now. Yeah, as you get on the chat, please tell me what it is that you are drinking tonight, because this is a happy hour. That's part of the whole point. Marco is drinking a beer garden from Sonder and still cooking dinner. I didn't even eat dinner tonight. That's how full I am from how much food we ate. Julia says, "Sup?" She's having an Axis Monday. Josh is here, and he is having a psychopathy. That is not a DIPA. However, it is an IPA, so we'll count it. We'll count it somehow. I don't know how that counts as a DIPA, but we'll accept it. Empty glass. It needs fixed. This was I brought 2 different rums while we were camping. And honestly, this is kind of where the show title comes from. Julia says we should have let's see, Eric has Urban Artifact Spicy Pickle. Julia says we should have a rum party. Everybody brings a bottle of rum, and we try cocktails made with said different rums. That would be a ton of fun. John says no more beer. I had plenty today. I've had a lot of beer today. Actually, I didn't have that much beer today. I think I had 2 beers today. This weekend, I've had a lot of beer. Josh says, I'll just have to drink 2 to make it a double. That counts. And Julia says, the spicy pickle is my favorite. Okay. So I cracked the code. That's the show title here. Because I brought 2 different bottles of rum camping, determined to kind of just explore those 2 and drink them in different situations and just enjoy those rums. What I discovered was this one particular rum might just be my favorite camping spirit. Now, I love lots of different spirits. I brought some bourbon this weekend too, and we drank a bunch of bourbon around the campfire, and that's always awesome. I'm a big fan of moonshine. Like, I know it's a little cheesy, and if you've ever been to Gatlinburg and seen what is happening with moonshine culture there, it's starting to get a little overwhelming and maybe even a little embarrassing for good moonshine. But I enjoy a bottle of moonshine being passed around a campfire. Typically, I don't like a lot of the super sweet, kind of crazy flavors. I say typically because I'm pretty sure somewhere down here I have a bottle of like Mountain Dew Shine, and I think I have root beer float or something. I have lots of different flavors of moonshine that are like really tacky flavors that I do also enjoy. But if I'm sitting around a campfire, I really just want like straight up like unaged corn whiskey. Um, so there are lots of good spirits that you can drink while you're camping. However, this bottle of rum might have beat all of them. I first tried this, so I stopped out at Tiki Tiki Bang Bang a while back. Not that long ago, but a little while back. And while I was sitting at the bar, I was talking to the bartender about rums because I'm on this quest, and he mentioned that the skipper, which is the owner of the bar, was on his way back. He was en route with a brand new rum to Ohio, and he's just talking about how great this rum is. And right as I'm getting ready to leave, in walks the skipper with these bottles of rum, gets them in the computer, gets them on the shelf, and I'm like, okay, we've been talking about this. I have to try it, and I tried it and absolutely loved it. And then I went home and I haven't really stopped thinking about it. So the next time I was at the liquor store, stocking up on some rum, I knew I had to grab some of this because it was that good. This is Dr. Bird Jamaica rum. This is a Moscatel cask finish. It's 100 proof. It's Jamaican pot stilled rum, and this stuff is, I'm going to call it incredible. If you ever see this on a shelf and you're looking for a good, like, fruity, boozy, slightly funky rum, this is it. I don't remember a lot of the story about this. That's not really the important part. How it tastes is the important part. But I will read and we'll see what we can learn. Okay, let's get some in the glass, though, while we do that. Like I said, this is 100 proof. This is a big, bold rum. You can see how much I enjoyed it this weekend. Because although I did share some, I drank down to there. So it's down to about there. That's how much I drank this weekend, just pretty much by myself. It's good. Okay. Oh, I was going to read it. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. I'm a little tired. I'm also very stinky, if anybody's wondering. Okay. This says Dr. Bird, Jamaica rum. And this is not somebody that is named Dr. Bird. Hey, Dr. Bird, do you have any openings for an appointment next week? Not like that kind of doctor. The national bird of Jamaica is the Dr. Bird. It has been immortalized in Jamaican culture for centuries. This fruit-forward, no-holds-barred blend of high-ester Jamaica rum is an homage to this beautiful creature in the land of wood and water, pot distilled in Jamaica from the finest sugarcane, utilizing techniques that date back to centuries. Dr. Bird draws upon the ghosts of rum past, possessing strong pineapple, mango, passion fruit, coconut, and butterscotch notes, and finished in Moscatel casks. Our rum embodies a flavor as colorful and unique as the Dr. Bird itself. This is distilled in St. Catherine, Jamaica, produced and bottled by Corkdown Distillery in Detroit, Michigan. It's a rum that I think tastes unlike any other that I've ever tried. So we're going to drink it together tonight. We're going to pretend we're still camping, even though I got to go to work in the morning. So like when it gets like right here, I start getting the first little hints of what it is. And here it's like almost like some kind of like a pie. is what it reminds me of. Like there's like this butterscotch, sweet, sugary, um, tropical pie. It's so unique. And I'm talking about just sitting right here with it like a foot away from my face. So unique. There's something really familiar about it that I also can't place. It's so like fresh and like clean and like bright and it's not like when when you pour a lot of like aged spirits. Okay, John wants to know pronunciation. Homage or homage. Um, how do I pronounce it? I mean, I think either one is right. Homage, 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 homage. Pay homage. I think I do homage. And it could also be like a Caribbean thing where in different contexts I pronounce it different. I don't actually know. How did I pronounce it this time? You tell me. I had to be pay pay homage, homage. I don't know. I don't know how I pronounce it. Um, what I was saying is that there's a lot of spirits that when I get them in a glass in front of me, there's a really woody, really like um, deep kind of uh, almost sometimes overwhelming aroma that comes with that. This is like a completely different side of it, like this bright, fruity kind of thing that is not at all what you would expect. I mean, when you look at it, it's not like it's not a dark spirit. It's got some color to it, but it's pretty light. Oh man. All right. Oh, it's so good. Now it's getting a little boozy. Yeah, super tropical. All right. Cheers. Let's dive into this. Let's see. Mm. It's really easy for something like this to be great when you're camping. When you're sitting around a campfire, stuff tastes better. When you're hanging out outdoors, which we'll talk about the experience of the weekend, but um, it's easy for beverages to taste better in certain situations when you're with certain people or doing certain things or hanging out somewhere. Uh, things just naturally can improve because of that. So, uh, saying this is a great camping drink is not really that crazy of a thing because just about anything I take with me is going to be great. But getting it back here, home in a controlled environment, a familiar environment, and a standardized environment, I can definitely back it up that this is still great and still something that like I just want to keep sipping on over and over. Like this bottle is going to go fast, and there's not a lot of bottles in my house that do that. And I've got a lot of great stuff. Like there's some things that like uh, there's some things around the house that like are really excuse me, really great spirits that sometimes I will pass up on like a say it's a Wednesday evening or something and I'm wanting a little drink. I'll pass up some of these bottles because they're special occasion bottles. In the same way that like there's stuff that just hangs out in the beer cellar because you're waiting for a better quote unquote occasion to drink it. There's bottles of spirits that are around that are like that too. That like you're waiting for the right person to drink it with, or it's something that you're never going to see again, and so you want to make it last, and so you find yourself passing over it. This is not a spirit like that. This is everything that rum should be. It's like $25 a bottle. It's not expensive. It's not rare. You can just go to the liquor store and get it. But it's so freaking good. That's something that more places need to do, is just make products that are still accessible, that you can just go and get, but stand out and make you feel when you're drinking it like you're drinking something special. I don't know why we've gotten away from that. We've built this weird culture of like, oh, excuse me, oh, sorry guys, that's rude. We've built this whole culture of like rarity and exclusivity and like um uh, finding things that other people can't have. And I don't know that that's the way I want to drink stuff. I don't know that that's the way I want to experience the world around me. Uh, don't get me wrong. I've had rare things and in rare situations with special people or whatever, and it's great. And I've had some stuff that I really love in that defined beverage category. But um, the times that I really, really, really like form these deep, long lasting drink memories are not necessarily those. It's the times where you discover something like this and it's something that blows your mind, or something that changes your opinion about something, or is just the best version of something that you've had. That's where it really kind of forms like a deep kind of memory of a beverage for me. So, hats off to, what were they called? Corktown? Is that right? Corktown Distillery? I think that's what they were called. Corktown Distillery. I feel like there was a different name of the distillery that I saw online. I don't actually know. Dr. Bird though. Whoever is making Dr. Bird, hats off. This is a great rum, and it's going to be a regular addition to my bar. Eric says, idea, SFG product line, just so freaking good. Yes. And like it just, and craft beer is partly to blame for this, because we've, for so long just craved like the next thing. And, oh gosh, it's so rude. It's not necessarily the craft brewer. I mean, it is the craft brewer's fault, but it's not. Consumers have been like clamoring for this forever. Like, we want the next thing. I'm just as guilty as anybody when I walk into a brewery that I go to frequently. I'm still looking at the board. All right, what's up here that I haven't tried before? What's something that I can experience new? And I don't always do that, but I'd still do it way more than mentally I know I want to do. I know that I want to spend more time with the products that I already enjoy, or the products that I think are great products. It's kind of crazy to walk in somewhere and pass over a product that you know is amazing, that you think is a perfect example of what it's supposed to be, you know you're going to love and enjoy, and pass that up for something that you're like, yeah, I've never tried that before. That could be interesting. That's nuts. Like, why don't you go for the thing that you know is great? Like, I are we looking for something that's better, or are we looking for just a new experience? And I did. There's a lot to unpack with that too. I mean, that's one of the things that people keep citing about these younger generations, that people love to say aren't drinking, um, which I don't think is true. Um, is that when younger people are going to drink, they are seeking out these bigger experiences, or these deeper kind of connections with the things that they are drinking. And I I believe that that is also setting us up for, at some point, a shift into a generation that welcomes some of these beverages from our SFG product line, just the just so freaking good stuff, things that can get out of the way of all of the other stuff. The experience doesn't have to be just a new beer. The experience is about all this other stuff, and sometimes, maybe even the majority of the time, the job of alcohol is not to be the experience. Alcohol is just supposed to be present during the experience and make the experience more vibrant and more memorable and more enjoyable. But it doesn't have to be the experience. And that's for craft beer and spirits and anything. Um, and I feel like we've drifted away from that. Not that I don't think alcohol or any kind of beverage should be a star in your experience with it, but um, I think we need a healthy balance both ways. I'm gonna maybe down this and then open a beer. Oh, man, it is so good, so good. Mm. Hmm. Phenomenal. I was going to. I haven't mixed it with anything. um, I've only been drinking it straight. Only this morning, and it was this morning, um, did I first put it over ice. I've literally all weekend just been drinking out of like a camp cup and just dumping this stuff in there and just drinking it sitting by a fire. Um, I had the idea this morning as we were cooking breakfast that it sounded good. My wife, one of the drinks that she brought, we've now progressed to a his and hers coolers situation. Let's talk about that a little bit while I open a beer. This was a gift from some friends. This is from Birdfish. This is called Falcon Ale. Falcon. Falcon. Like folking. Like folk. Like it's not a bad word. It's just folk. It's a dry Irish stout. They release this around Paddy's Day every year. Righteous beers for the righteous kind. Okay. Let's see if there's anything to read about it on here. There's not. It's crafted and canned in Columbiana, Ohio. And there's a bunch of like Brewers Guild stuff on here and whatever. 4.5%. Keep cold, drink fresh, recycle, slancha. All right, let's open this up. This is a, like I said, dry Irish stout. I'm just going with my standard drink local glass. It is also CO2, so you don't have to pour it like a madman. Just pour it like normal. We've talked about how, like, for Paddy's Day, I am still a Guinness drinker. At least 1 pint of Guinness will go down my face every Paddy's Day. But I do beyond that, especially that day. But if I'm seeking out a dry Irish stout anytime, I'm trying to find something local if I can. That said, I do recalibrate with Guinness from time to time, so I'm very familiar with the style. I've actually been trying to find some Guinness cans. I heard, and this is a rumor that I cannot confirm, nor can I deny it because I haven't found any way to do either one. I had heard that Guinness, in some cost-saving measures, had made the decision to, for the first time, brew some of their Guinness signature Guinness stout here in the United States. I'm actually fairly confident that this is true. However, either, and this is where things get a little murky, I haven't dug deep into it yet, either there was something that happened to the batch, or there was enough public outcry to the fact that Guinness was coming from the United States that they pulled all of the cans. So anytime I'm in a store that sells beer. I've been checking the Guinness, trying to get a hold of some of these contract cans that may or may not, in theory, exist. If anybody ever is in a store, probably right around now, they're not going to stick around for long, and you see a can of Guinness, regular Guinness that is produced in the United States, please buy it, and I will buy it off of you because I got to try it. I've also heard rumors over the years that they do make some in Canada, which I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. And I'm talking just regular Guinness. I'm not talking about the foreign extra stout or any of that stuff. I'm talking about just regular Guinness. Okay, enough Guinness talk. Let's drink this beer. This also would have been a good camping beer. Most of the beer that I drank while we were camping this weekend was just kind of lagers. I had some Mexican lager, some American lager. That was by far the majority of the beer versus the spirits. If you follow me on social media, I did post today kind of a top secret taste test from our friends over at Northern Row. They are releasing a canned cocktail, which we talked about. I think we talked about it on the show, right? I think I spoiled the surprise on it. And they're doing a canned cocktail of vodka tea with lemonade that they snuck me a few cans of the last time I was down there for Kolsch night. Also, a really great camping drink. Really good iced tea lemonade RTD. Fantastic, but I'm getting distracted again. All right, let's dive into this before I forget what I'm doing. Oh yeah, chocolatey, roasty, but that chocolate, it's like that really nice baker's chocolate kind of aroma. Oh yeah, it smells amazing. All right, let me try it. That's excellent. That is fantastic. Oh yeah, full flavored, super full flavored, big flavors. That big kind of roastiness, but then that chocolate kind of comes in and lingers throughout the finish. Man, that's good. Oh, that's really good. I'm upset that I only have one can of that. That's like one of those beers that you just always want in your fridge. Maybe I'm alone in this, but when I'm looking for everyday drinkers, I'm looking for beers that are big in flavor, big in some kind of personality, but lower ABV, and 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 is dead on. For something that can just become a good daily driver. That's awesome. That's great beer. We need to get past this point as beer drinkers that we feel like dry Irish stout should only be consumed around Paddy's Day. That's got to end. That's got to end fast because it's great. So good. Okay, let's talk about the weekend, and then we'll kind of start wrapping things up so I can go take a shower. Camping in my family is, it's not like we're not really roughing it. We sleep in a tent, but we have air mattresses. We have very easy access to get to an actual bathroom. I could have taken a shower if I wanted to. I just chose not to. When it gets really hot, if we camp in the summer, there's a swimming pool. You can just walk to a swimming pool. It's right there. We're on my wife's parents' property, so we're not roughing it. And a big part of then kind of how we celebrate camping and why we're camping is things like food and drink and yard games and things like that. We're not hiking in the woods or something, or fishing to catch something so that we don't starve. It's not that kind of camping trip. Um, we actually, so typically, and I say typically, but I can't think of a time that this wasn't the case. We usually on like a Memorial Day weekend, we'll go up on Friday night, and set up camp. And usually we don't worry about dinner that night. We'll bring some pizzas or something. You can't really get pizzas delivered, but you can go pick them up and bring them there, and that works just fine. So we get a bunch of pizzas, and I usually end up eating cold pizza every single time because it takes me so long to get there and set up camp. So by the time we get everything set up and get settled, get some food in my stomach, it's usually late. So we have a campfire that night, have some s'mores, drink a couple beers, and go to bed and get up in the morning. And then every day from there on out is, well, that's not even true. There's a formula to this. One day, well, we'll say Saturday, it kind of flips back and forth, but one of the two weekend days is just kind of us, just the immediate the immediate family is what I call it. That's not even like a good picture for people. My wife and her sister are super close. They've got two kids. We've got two kids, and we pretty much do everything as a group. So they're there, and her parents are there, and that is, and our buddy. We have a very close friend that has become kind of like an extended family member. That's the core group that is always there. Sometimes there's some other cousins that come and go, but that's our immediate family group. That is usually how we spend one of the days. We wake up, we do some kind of big breakfast, make a bunch of breakfast meat and eggs and all that kind of stuff. And then we sit around a picnic table and just feast on breakfast food. Then, all day long, we just sit around the yard and drink and play games, and we make like scavenger hunts for the kids. And if it's hot, we'll go swimming or whatever. It's an excuse to just be outside consuming things. Lunch rolls around and we do some kind of fun lunch, something easy but fun. And then same thing, we just sit around all afternoon. Dinner rolls around and we usually do some kind of really fun dinner. Then the other weekend day, we usually invite a ton of people over, a ton of family, and have a huge kind of party in our campground at this point, and make a really, really fun meal. This year, we've done it many times, but this weekend, we smoked a couple pork butts, made some pulled pork. I also made some Brussels sprouts, which I love. I realized this morning, actually, because we did that yesterday, I realized that I forgot I have this balsamic glaze that I brought in a little squeeze bottle to put on the Brussels sprouts, and I never put it on. They were good, but I just remembered this morning that I didn't actually finish them the way I wanted to, so that sucks. Although I do have leftovers, I think. No, maybe not. No, I have leftovers from our Saturday meal. So for Saturday, I was trying to figure out, like, steak is usually a good one because it's fun to cook a steak over the fire and it's delicious. But I wanted something a little bit different. So I decided to do a seafood boil that wasn't a seafood boil. So I boiled like the potatoes and the corn to get that at least done enough, and then took a big sheet of foil and threw everything in there, and then sealed it up and tossed it on the coals in the fire to finish cooking. And it was awesome. I have some of that left over. That might be lunch or dinner tomorrow. If I can find a good container to put it in tomorrow, something that I can keep it hot all day, I might take that for lunch. That might be fun. But that's the kind of stuff that we do. We like literally just eat really good and drink really good all weekend. It's just outside becomes the excuse for us to do it, or the place for us to do it at. We played a lot of poker this year. We've been on a poker kick over the last like 6 or probably more than that, actually 6 months or so. We're playing poker like once a week. So we spent all weekend playing poker, every chance we got, because if you were paying attention, Julia says the seafood steam. Well, yeah. I probably should have like pulled it out and thrown it on a grate over the fire or something to get some like char to it and some like smoke to make it more campfirey, I think. It was more of an experiment just to see how it would turn out, and it turned out great. If you were paying attention, there was a little bit of rain this weekend. So this was a little different than it normally is, because Friday, my wife was off work on Friday. I was not, so I had to work all day. Got home. I had laid out most of the camping stuff that we needed to bring in the middle of the living room in a big pile so that I could get off work, walk in the house, grab stuff, just throw it in the car, and we would be ready to go. I didn't anticipate, and this is not a dig at anybody, but I didn't anticipate that I would come home and my wife and both of my kids, none of them would have even started packing. I had to go to the grocery store too. I forgot about that. We had this whole like thing scheduled out where I had to come home from work, run to the grocery store as fast as I possibly could, and then get home, load the cooler, load the car, and immediately book out. But like I said, didn't anticipate that nobody would be ready to go. And at this point, like we know that the weather's going to be a little rough. It had been raining for a while. I think it was raining all day, if I remember right. I'm sure somebody else remembers better than me. And my wife had heard that her sister and their family, they weren't coming up on Friday. My oldest nephew graduated on Saturday, we'll get to that adventure. So they were going to stay home just to make sure that because we had to get up early for it, that they could get everything ready and get out the door on time. That's fine. So my wife decided, well, it's raining outside. I'm not ready, and nobody else is going to be up there yet. Why don't we just not go tonight? Listen, there are not a lot of things that I do in life to relieve stress or to make myself take a break from reality. I do not. I try very hard not to let alcohol fill that void in my life when you need a stress reliever. I think it's a very dangerous road to go down when you start relieving stress with something like alcohol. I use and consume alcohol in very different situations than when I'm stressed or when I have a bad day and I just need a beer. Like that's not the way I do it. However, what I do in those situations is I spend time outside. That's the thing that brings me joy. It's the thing that brings me calm, and I love it. And so when it's a Friday, I'm all packed, and I've got all the family stuff packed, all of like the tent and the cooking stuff, and all that stuff is ready to go. Literally sitting by the door. I'm not just gonna come tomorrow. I'm not doing it. One of my favorite things on a camp out is being in a tent, a big, cozy, comfortable tent, when it's raining at night. I love that. I love it so much. I'm not skipping that. I'm not missing it. So I said, all right, well, why don't I go up ahead of you guys and get things set up? So that's what we did for Friday. I went up early ahead of everybody. They stayed home. They still had to go, and they had to go to another store. So I went to the grocery store and then found out that they still had to go to a different store for things for a treasure hunt or something. I don't know. And I set up camp. As soon as I got there, the rain stopped. And I got a window of like 2 hours where, I mean, it was muggy. and a little wet outside, a lot of wet outside, but it wasn't raining. So I got everything set up perfectly dry. I went and my in-laws were in their house, so I went and walked in the house and you know said hi and said, all right, I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna go be in a tent tonight. Like I'm not gonna come back in the house and like hang out with you guys. And they were fine with it, so I'm like, all right. So I went and I walked back to our little campsite and went in my little tent and I built the coziest, most fun little corner of a solo camping adventure that you could ever imagine. I had my cooler sitting on one side of the tent with all of my beverages. I had all my bottles. I had a full little mini bar built with these bottles of booze ready to sample away. I had my beer variety ready to go. I had a bunch of sparkling water if I got bored. I had a big old growler full of still water if I didn't want any bubbles but still needed to hydrate. I had a table so I could sit and I could write or I could read with some kind of different surface. I had a cot that I brought just for me, so I had my little single cot with a pillow and sleeping bag and a couple blankets. I took a big wool blanket and laid it out across the floor of the tent so I could walk around barefoot and my toes wouldn't get cold. And as soon as I stepped in the tent, it started raining. And it was the most glorious, perfect night of camping that you can imagine. Cozy does not even describe it. It was amazing. And the rest of the weekend was great too. It was a little warm the first night, got a little chillier the other two nights. So just I love sleeping when it's cold. Cold, rainy nights are just absolutely amazing when you're camping, and so for that it was a great weekend. But it did put a little damper on the activities because it rained so much. We played more poker than I think we were anticipating. We have like two like 10 by 10 canopies that we just kind of butt up against each other, and a couple tables you can put under those, so it makes enough space for everybody to hang out under these little canopies if you want to. Yeah, it's a good time. It's actually a really good time. Something that I think is good for mental health. Mm, that's great. I need to find like a good chair for like in the tent. So I usually sit just on my cot with the table in front of me as like a little kind of desk if I'm doing something in there. And it doesn't really work if I'm on an air mattress, which so usually I am. Um, but because of our weird setup this time, I wasn't. Because you can't really sit on an air mattress comfortably. It doesn't become a good surface. And I'm not going to lay in bed and drink a beer. I need to sit on something. Eric says it sounds like a great recharge. It was. I'm sure it'll quickly get shoved right up the old booty this week as I get back into work. But for now, I'm feeling recharged. Other than the fact that I'm exhausted now after uh, the day we leave is always really a lot. Packing everything up and then getting back home is a lot of stuff. Now that's not to say that like the first half of it, like we spent all day again just sitting outside, hanging out, and enjoying a beautiful day today. So we didn't really start packing until it was like I don't know 4 or 5. So like, but uh, the last half of the day has been just a lot, and I don't shower all weekend. I don't deal with any of that. I'm on full on camping mode. So like right now, I'm ready for a shower and I'm ready to climb into bed. And in my head, so in my head, I'm going to climb into bed with the iPad and update some notes for some things that I need to get done this week and some article stuff. And um, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get in there, start to do that. My brain's not going to work. So I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to watch a little YouTube before I go to sleep. I'm going to make it through like 3 minutes of YouTube something before I just start to fall asleep. I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going to work. I'm going to finish this beer first before I do anything, though, because I don't want to waste this beer. So yeah, I cracked the code of the best camping booze. Maybe that's a blog post for someday. Is like the rundown of the best of every beverage for camping. So like the best booze, the best beer, your best camping wine. If you want to drink a cocktail, this is the best camping cocktail. Something like that. That's actually a pretty good idea. Somebody write that down for me. Stay tuned. I have like this big compilation article, sort of like that. Not really like that, but in the same similar kind of soul that I've been working on, that is driving me crazy. But I'm really excited to get it done and share it with you guys because it's fun. That's some of the stuff that I want to do more of on the blog in the near future, is like these kind of bigger topics about the best this kind of drinking, how to do this type of drinking in Cincinnati. I don't want to give too many of my future ideas away, but yeah, the best camping. Even just the best camping cocktails would be a great one, because I love cocktails. And like when we're here at home and we're hanging out down here in the basement, like, all right, we're drinking. We've got friends over or whatever. We're going to have a couple drinks. I'm not just drinking beer on those nights. If it's a special night and there's people here and we want to like have a good time, like there's some cocktails flying, and like I enjoy that, and I enjoy kind of the elevated side of drinking. And there's so many people that just think, all right, so we're camping, so all we're supposed to drink is cans of Macro American Lager. And that's fine, but there are other better things that we could be drinking. And I'm not just talking about canned cocktails, which I love. Canned cocktails have changed the game. Good canned cocktails have changed the game for what it means to drink in situations like a camp out or a pool party or whatever it may be. But you can still make a great cocktail, and maybe we need to do that. That sends my brain down a whole other, like the best gear to make a camping cocktail. Because look, if you want to shake a cocktail, you need a cocktail shaker. If you can't just, I mean, you can, and maybe that's a topic of discussion, is that like you can just take a couple ingredients and swirl it and make a camping cocktail that way, or you can have a camping cocktail shaker. I have a camping cocktail shaker. Yeah, we've got some stuff to talk about. This is sending me down some idea rabbit holes. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for lots of content. I appreciate you guys. Look, I love experiencing drinks like with other people and in different situations, and really kind of diving into like what a beverage is and figuring out the story of it, and all that's great too. But like, I love doing it with other people, and being able to sit down here every single Monday and doing it with you is an absolute dream come true. And I love it. And I appreciate that you guys show up week after week to hang out with me and do this goofy thing that I do, which some weeks are well prepared and some weeks aren't. Some weeks have some kind of like clever topic and some weeks don't. Some weeks are way too personal and some weeks aren't nearly personal enough. But the fact that it's always here and it's always changing and evolving and improving, hopefully, means so much to me. I hope it means like something to you guys too. I hope you appreciate it the way that you make me feel like you do. We'll be back next week. We'll do it again. Monday nights, we're typically live on Facebook and YouTube around 9:30 p.m. Tonight we were late, sorry. But typically, if you like this show, you can always listen to the podcast if you miss it. The podcast is available all over the place. You can just go to, well, you know what? That brings up a great point. I probably need to get you a good URL. I don't think you can just go to... Hang on. We're going to check and see if you can do this. There's no way that I'm checking something. No. Okay. You can just go to thegnarlygnome.com and you can scroll down on the main page to podcasts, and the last episode of the Weekly Pint is always right there. Usually right there. That's always the quickest way to get to it. I encourage everybody to subscribe to The Gnarly Gnome on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram too, but there's no Weekly Pint on Instagram. Although it might have been the first place the show was. I can't remember. Was it Instagram or was it like Periscope or something like that? It might have been Periscope. It's not important, but follow on your favorite social media platforms, because new episodes are live every Monday night on Facebook and YouTube. So that's probably the more fun way to view them. I'm rambling. If you like this, if you like any of the stuff that I do, please go to thegnarlygnome.com/support. It is Memorial Day, so we cannot end the episode without mentioning anybody who has served our country, especially the people who did it and aren't here to thank in person. Nobody is here to thank in person. You understand what I'm saying. The people that lost their lives serving this country. But I will push it to everybody. I appreciate it more than I could ever tell any of you in person. And I know that for me, most of the people that I know that have served would tell me in person that, oh, you don't need to thank me. And like it has turned into a life where I don't thank people enough for what they have given up, or for putting themselves on the line to allow me to live in a place where I can sit in my basement on a Monday evening drinking an incredible craft beer and broadcasting whatever the heck I want to talk about over the internet. There's a lot of freedoms that we have that we take for granted, and I appreciate all of you and what you've done. So cheers. Thank you for your service, and I encourage everybody to think about the people who have given up their lives for us before you close your eyes tonight. So cheers, everybody. We'll do it again next week. I appreciate all of you. What do you think happens if we mix Dr. Bird with Birdfish? Do you think that this is... It's so good.